Suffering Salvation by Rebel Chicky. Flashback. Ukuto, come on! A blonde pigtail-haired girl with beautiful amethyst eyes chirped happily. She had a colored fire in her hand and she clutched it tightly. A bored-looking boy followed in her wake, mumbling something about stupid childish things, but it didn't stop him from following. They walked down the dark trail that had said to lead to the circus, but as they went further and further, their resolution wavered. The forest around them was dark and creepy, and the girl was getting scared. Right when they were about to turn back, Ukta heard the faint sound of music. It's right ahead. Utau, we're almost there, Ukta says, and they hurry forward. They see a red-black striped tent that rose eerily into the night. Ukta thought that the atmosphere of the whole place was off. Everything in him was telling him to turn back, but he shook off the feeling, something he never should have done. A creepy man with a top hat came forward, an almost demonic smile on his face. "Hello there, children. Have you come to see the show?" he asked. Uta, not sensing the creepiness that shrouded the man, grinned up at him. "Yes, we can't wait," she laughs. The man's smile grows, and he turns to the side, pointing out his hand towards the tent. "Enjoy," he says simply, and Ukuto grabs Utao's hand and drags her inside. They find seats in the semi-full tent and watch as the familiar man comes out into the center, the spotlight shining brightly on him. "Welcome, welcome to the Darkwood Circus, home of the misfits, the freaks, and the deformities of humanity. Watch your eyes, for following is really something that you can't find anywhere else," the ringleader almost sings. The spotlight moves away from him, and it reveals one figure, yet two people. There was a collective gasp around the whole entire tent. This is the two twins who were conjoined at birth. They are connected by the hip, literally, the man says. You can tell that there's an evil in his voice. Ukto looks up at Utao, who was staring at them with horror. They both took each other's hands, the music playing in haunting notes. They dance with great skill. The boy's side has a frown on his face. He looks sad. He looks different. But what emotion is so heavily shown on his face is pain. The female side is smiling. She seems happier, though the smile she wears doesn't meet her eyes. She seems more tame, but you can tell that she held sorrow in her eyes. Sorrow aimed at her brother. Uta looks away, but Ukto observes. He sees that the boy flinches whenever his right foot goes down. He sees a gigantic flaming red spot on his neck. That was revealed when his clothes shifted. He had odd scars on his face too, though the girl's face was scar-free. He was more different of the two. The spotlight moves away from them when the dance is done. "And now, the forgotten flower," he says. The spotlight where there is a girl with orange hair. She sits on the ground. At first it looks like she is just clad in flowers. Then you take a closer look. The flowers and the sunny-looking kid were coming out of her skin. She looks up and waves with a rose vine-wrapped hand, a big smile in place. She bent backwards, forwards, did flips and tumbles, showing off that what she could really do. She did her final flip, landing on her feet, and a very pained look flashed on her face. She was also in pain. This is the mindless mermaid, the girl in a clear glass box filled with water. She was clad in a short dress, her long blonde hair fanned around her. She was breathing normally out of her things in her neck. Gills? And she had scales on her arms and legs. She almost looked bored though. With a small sigh, she perched herself over the top of the glass and told jokes. There was no doubt that she was funny, but Ukuto and Utao didn't find it very amazing. Utao had tears flowing down her cheek, while even Ukuto looked horrified. Now for a true man. This is the abandoned acrobat. The boy is shown on a high platform. He was holding a bar connected to strings. Ready to jump, he was fearless. His metal arms are straight and his metal hands are gripping the bar tightly. With his metal legs, he jumps, swinging through the air. He does flips, tricks, and jumps that risk his very life, and he does it with a goofy smile on his face. But like all the smiles here, they never meet the eyes. Now the last act of the night, the beater of them all! The ringleader starts pointing his arm, but in that very moment, a hand with a rag covers Okuto's face. The rag has a strange stench that he couldn't quite name, but whatever it was, it had him unconscious in no time at all. They did the same for the blonde. They were carried into the back where the light balls flickered and cages lined the sides. Okuto was thrown into one and Uto the other. Both cages were lined with metal, completely soundproof to everyone. No one would hear them scream. No one wiped away their tears. The ones their parents didn't wipe away anyway. It didn't matter though. The second that Okuto woke up, he knew that life wasn't the same. It would never be the same. End of flashback. Slowly, Okuto opened his eyes. The door to his cell opened, and the familiar smell of dinner overwhelmed his sense, making an inhuman growl escape his lips. The attendant yelped, dropping the plate on the floor and scampering out of there as fast as he could. Okuto made his way over to the plate and started eating, not caring who was watching. "How long was it this time?" asked the male of the twin. "Nagi, it's rude to ask," says the female side. "Nade, everyone is wondering," he mocks his sister in a light-hearted way. 3 weeks, he says, hiding his navy blue eyes behind his azure bangs. "I'm so sorry," says Nade. He looks up, his eyes sharp. He stands up, stretching his long body. He leans down, right by the bars of his cage, and glares at Nade. "Don't pity me," he says, softly but with venom. She shrinks back towards her brother, and Okuto gets up and goes over to the dark corner and finishes his food. The ringmaster comes through, examining his experiments with a smirk on his face. As he walks by, he pulls down the metal coverings over the bars, making it impossible for them to see out. For a long time it's silent. No one dares to even breathe too loudly. They see if they can hear more than they usually can. As usual, the frantic footsteps as they run away. They also hear the controlled steps of someone clad in combat boots as they walk steadily towards them. They hear screaming, begging, and then silence. Complete silence. Slowly, they hear the boots retreat to not so far away from them, in the dark corner of the room. The brutes step onto the metal of the cage, and the door locks in a frantic hurry. No one knew who it was. No one knew what its deformity was. All they knew was that if they were bad, they would meet the same bitter end, and that whoever tried to get out did, and it wouldn't be pleasant. So they lived their lives trapped in steel cages, getting hurt from doing the most minor things, and always just wishing that they had never come around here. But two people, who had technically won, wondered. They wondered how the person that lived in that cage was. The secret was that they had met her once, on a dark night, and they still remember the 3 words she uttered as she looked up with one golden eye. The rest of her face was hidden by shadows. "Welcome to hell." Okay, so that was chapter 2 of Suffering Salvation. I hope you liked it. I did stuff up a bit, and my tablet did, kind of, went to sleep for a bit, but that's okay. That only happened near the end, so I hope you guys liked it. The other one will come out sooner or later.